Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're doing the front page review, starting with The Nation as usual. Benefits of $500 million domestic bond offer by Edu experts. The plan to halt capital flight, free up funds for capital projects, allow investment by dollar account holders. The offer would open up by Monday. In other news, you would see federal government Ogun challenge bid by Chinese firm to seize nation's offshore assets. That is a story. NGC recommends Kekere Ekun as CNG. ICPC gets order to detain Jimmy Lawal. Lagos rolls out revenue boosting portal. And $2.04 million Emefiele linked assets forfeited. Tinubu seeks homegrown solutions to Africa problem. You cannot miss that picture of the President Tinubu and his Equatorial Guinea counterpart, Mosogo, signing an agreement yesterday. And some good news. Inflation drops for the first time in 19 months. Food prices drops as well. 774 councils get 1.41 trillion naira from Federation accounts in 6 months. And Senate running costs different from salary, not peculiar to us. That's from the Senate. All right, what are we starting with?
Okay, so federal government, they are trying to help us stop this Chinese firm from taking over. Let me just start the story. It's a story. So in 2007, Ogun State government had engaged a Chinese company to manage their free trade zone, and the contract was then reviewed in 2015. This company, Zhongshan, consequentially initiated an investment treaty arbitration between Nigeria under a bilateral investment treaty between the People's Republic of China and Nigeria. And the arbitration panel in Paris then ruled that Nigeria was in breach of its obligation under the Chinese-Nigeria bilateral investment treaty. And they ruled that, because they awarded the company $74.5 million as compensation. The federal government and Ogun State appealed the matter in 8 jurisdictions, including the UK and the United States. And the latest in the tribunal is that one in Paris that now ordered the seizure of our 3 presidential planes, 2 in France, 1 in Switzerland. And they said it was to preserve the claim from the arbitration awards dated since March 2021 and made by an ad hoc tribunal.
It was Ogun State's son in this.
Ogun State is the one that entered the contract, but now they added the federal government as a party in the arbitration.
And then they are not
Ogun State on their own as a subnational and enter agreement. But when they filed a claim in an arbitration court, they added the federal government of Nigeria as a second party to the matter. They decided that they want to take our planes. They awarded the Chinese firm $74.5 million, and the federal government asphalt-ed the Chinese firm and the the Chinese firm is Zhongshan Fucheng Industrial Investment Company. I don't know how to pronounce their names, and I don't apologize. Yes, to seize 3 presidential jets, and they accused the firm of subterfuge. They also accused them of arm twisting and taxing, and they said that withholding certain information from the tribunal, and they're trying to make Nigeria lose some national assets. And this has been clarified by the Special Advisor to the President on Communications, Bayo Onanuga, and the Minister for Justice. I hope they do whatever they can.
I wanted you to take the story in detail, because these are the things we complain about when we enter contracts with Chinese, and how if you do anything in breach of the contract, you lose. Other African countries have lost to it.
It was revoked. It never took effect. What are the circumstances of that revocation and how?
Yeah, it's not a hot picture, but it should be. We would like to get more details. What other story?
So I have our president had visited Equatorial Guinea, and they signed an MOU. So let's start first with our president says Africa should seek homegrown solutions to its myriad of socio-economic and political challenges. He called for closer collaboration and solidarity in the continent, saying that partnership among countries is critical to problem solving and development. So our president was on a 3-day official visit to Equatorial Guinea, and at the meeting that they had, they also talked about the exodus of skills and talent from Africa. He was accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugan, a few other, dignitaries. But the agreement that was signed between these two countries, they're looking at, it covers legislative and regulatory measures for gas pipeline establishment, operation, natural gas transit, ownership, and general principles. They also talked about providing some sort of, because of the partnership, to watch, crude oil theft and things like that. They discussed security challenges, the African Continental Free Trade Area. They, a few other things. They talked about a youth pact between the countries. Equatorial Guinea, like the NYSC project initiative, and it's something that they are looking to see if they can also have.
Wow.
Then they're also saying that our youths and Nigeria can also provide products for some of the things that they do in their country. So this is supposed to be an all-encompassing agreement that helps foster that relationship and our economic growth within Africa. So generally, in summary, our president was like, really, we need to be more locally focused when it comes to solutions for our African problems.
I think as a business owner, I would like to read the agreement so I will see which opportunity I can pipe into. And I think other business owners, can export your oil and stuff to them. Let's see how we can take advantage. You have a story on that?
Yes, I have a story on the 774 local governments got 1.4 trillion from Federation account in 6 months. They said that the total amount they got was 1.699 trillion from the Federation accounts in the first half of this year. And they said in January, 288 billion was credited to them by the Commission. February, 278. March, 267 billion. In April, they got 288 billion. May, they got 293 billion. And in June, they got 282 billion. They said the allocations are crucial in paying the salaries of workers and implementing community development projects. They also said the allocations demonstrate the federal government continued support for state governments, particularly in oil-producing regions, where the derivation funds serve as a critical source of revenue for addressing their unique challenges. So it's time to hold your local government councillors accountable.
Very good.
If you don't see any development happening.
I'll quickly take the good news. Anyhow you look at it, it is good news, because the first time in 19 months that we're having a drop in our inflation, according to the Nigerian the National Bureau of Statistics, they announced the report from the July report as compared to the June report. Is the first time in 19 months that there was a drop in very minimal drop from 34.19 to 33.40. So it's barely 1%, but still it is a drop that we should be happy about. As compared to July last year, though, it was a major increase, because July last year inflation was going for, July 2023 was 26.98%, and in July 2024, inflation was recorded at 33.40%. So there's like a 12% high as compared to 2023 and 2024, but we know the reason. But they're also saying the reason for the slight decline we're seeing now is because the cost of food is going down. Surprisingly, let me highlight the fact that Belgium State recorded and is the highest when it comes to year-on-year basis of inflation rate. People in Lagos feel like, oh, things are so expensive here, but seeing that they're saying Belgium, Jigawa, and Kebbi rank the highest in all-time rates of inflation year-on-year, and while month-on-month the highest was Abuja, Borno, and Enugu, I was trying to look for Lagos. How can you not capture Lagos?
Exactly.
But somehow, maybe it's more expensive in other states, so it gives perspective to the challenges other people around the country are facing.
Also, the rate of inflation,
yes,
not necessarily the actual cost of
items,
just showing that the rate of increase in prices.
Anyway, slight good news. Let's just be happy. It's Friday. Moving on to the Punch. Major headline: Ogun's deal, which Nima took the story about the Chinese firm targeting assets of Nigeria in 8 countries. In other news, the picture, I really want to highlight this picture because we need to humanize our soldiers. So the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, during the celebration of the flying milestone, is on one side in Kainji, but then Maduguri shows two pictures in Maiduguri of troops from the northeast under Operation Hadinkai proceeding on annual leave from Maiduguri to different various destinations, courtesy of the Chief of Air Staff Welfare Flight Initiative. So they are allowed to fly back for a break, and you could see their faces. And I'm like, these are the survivors that are fighting to help protect the sanctity of Nigeria, preserving all the things that every region has their own crisis, and these are the people who are throwing there, and we should celebrate them. Harvest season reduces food inflation. That's the story I took. Federal government eyes pension in pension for the $500 million bond issue. Mpox, that's monkeypox. Federal government tightens border surveillance as case hits 39. CNG, NGC sends Kekereekun's name to Tinubu today. Educationalists file 11 billion suit against Sanwo-Olu, that's Lagos State Governor, over school demolition. And final story, Secretariat raid NLC demands detained members release. Another story that I didn't mention, court orders forfeiture of Emefiele's $2.4 million Lagos Delta assets. We won't be taking any story. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll continue with Front Page Review.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.